I don't fully want to get up, but I probably should. So today is Saturday, December 10th. This video though will probably go up December 12th because I've got kind of a busy day and I wouldn't have time tonight to edit my videos probably. But I am staying at the place with my mother. It's good to see her and good to be with her. Last night we ended up going to Marika's, which is like a German bar and restaurant. First time I'd actually ever really eaten their food. It was pretty good. I got to have spitzel, or not spitzel, spatzel, I think is what it's called. It's German noodles. They were pretty good. That was one of those meals that my paternal grandmother would make, and everybody loved it. And she's like, I don't understand why you guys just poor farming food. Because she grew up in a poor farm in Montana. But yeah, this is pretty good. It's just good to see her. I haven't seen her since before I qualified. She was actually here like 2 days before. But yeah. No, I'm excited today. We're going on a distillery tour. It's one that I did in 2021 with one of my sisters. We had a lot of fun and I'm going back there. I'm going to get my booklet stamped and yeah, it'll be a fun one. So it's been just more chilling in the house. Yeah, just mostly was chatting with my mom. We're getting ready kind of quickly to head over to the distillery soon. Yeah, just more coffee. I'm on like cup number 4, which honestly is more or less what I have each day. Woo.
So we were actually running a little bit late to the tour. We made it on time, but just barely. It was incredibly rainy to get to Danville. First thing is they took us into where they cook and ferment all of the grains. We're looking at the cooker right now. I don't know if it was specifically a wheated bourbon or a rye bourbon as they're referring it to, or just like kind of what I call a modern bourbon, but it's kind of cool there. So they actually had about 5 of their fermentation tanks going and one that was either filling or draining. They actually do a 2.5 day cook for the fermentation because they have such fast growing yeast. That's actually a thing with Wilderness Trail, is they got their start by making the yeast that is found in a lot of bourbon products. So these are different days of cooks. I could not tell which day any of these were on. Also, you couldn't really distinguish any flavor notes like you could at Woodford Reserve, but it was still fun to look. Next, we ended up meeting Cooper, who is the cat that the distillery has. He is absolutely adorable and a sweetheart. And it's actually pretty typical for distilleries to have cats because of the grains attracting mice. So these are working cats. We ended up meeting Cooper where they do a lot of the barreling as well as the doubler. Yes, my thumb is right there. This is actually the stills. They have 2 different column stills as well as the typical doubler. It is the typical setup that you'll find at most distilleries. Like again, Woodford Reserve is kind of unusual, but for example, Buffalo Trace or James E. Pepper or Luxro all use the column still plus doubler, the column still to get it to a pretty typical proof and also remove most of the grains, and then the doubler to refine the bourbon. We also got to try some of the White Dog, which is the distillate that comes off of the still. In this case, we got to learn how to do some of the different senses of like rubbing your hands and smelling it to kind of get an idea of what's going to be the overall flavors. We also got to see their safe that they have for the white dog. And because one of the owners is a mechanical engineer, he made it the most complicated version you could make it because they were having fun. Last thing is we ended up going to the rick house. They have a lot of rick houses on their site. Some of them are being loaned out to other distilleries, but they have a lot, including what at one point was the smallest rick house in the industry. However, that has now been surpassed by Buffalo Trace, who has a rick house that is dedicated to 1 barrel. But they have a lot of different rick houses that with thousands upon thousands of barrels that you can learn about, where they have, like, for example, the wheated bourbon at the bottom, their rye bourbon, or like I said, modern bourbon at the middle part of the rick house, and their rye whiskeys at the top. The last thing for me is always trying their old fashioned, and I liked this one. It was a very sweet but pretty good.
So this is just the end of the Wilderness Trail Distillery tour. It was amazing. I always like this place. They focus very much more on the science of it. And now my mom and I are gonna go to Four Roses because I want her to try the stuff they had there because it's a pretty fun distillery. We're just gonna go get drinks and then head to a dinner that's being held. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. So another bathroom check-in. I am at Puccini's, which is in Lexington. My mom and I, after going to Wilderness Trail, went to Four Roses for drinks and then came here for a lunch, or not lunch, a dinner with the other TAs and a good friend of hers from college who was a professor that I work with. So yeah, this has been most of the day.
So it's the end of the day. It's been pretty hectic. Honestly, I really did enjoy going to Wilderness Trail. Second time I'd gone, learned pretty much the same stuff I already knew about the distillery. It's interesting to see it from the perspective of somebody who had not really done many distillery tours, which is always a good thing. Yeah, it's not going to be my absolute favorite tour, but it is a good one, and it's one that's a little bit easier to get into, definitely. I am still deciding my full opinions on it. But yeah, we had some really good old fashions there, or I did. It uses black walnut bitters, which is a pretty typical flavor here in Kentucky. It was overall a really good day. I don't really know what else to say. It was like the dinner was good. I am a social person. And the struggle is I live by myself. We're all around different academics, and I may have been able to recruit somebody to work for my research group, which is always a good thing, as anybody in grad school can attest, trying to get more undergrads to join, to get into research, if nothing else, more people to like help do some of the groundwork, which that's at least how we all start off. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This will be probably day 12 based off of when I can edit this. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye.